That's good.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope that you're good. In today's video, as you can tell from the title, I am cooking in my kitchen. I'm cooking stewed salmon, and this I cook on a regular basis. It's one of my favorite dishes. I love it because it's so easy, but it tastes so nice. And I love cooking recipes that allow you to just use up whatever you have in your fridge. I just need to buy the salmon. I have the rice, the peppers, the herbs, and all that sort of stuff usually in my house anyway. I also love it because you're able to chop and change. So sometimes I'll add potatoes, sometimes I'll add more of something or less of something, sometimes I make it spicy. Like, you can just change this recipe how you want, and it typically tastes very similar to the original recipe, but you can kind of go off on a tangent if you want to. But that's why I love it. And also, one pot of dishes, who doesn't love them? I chuck everything in the pot and let it just speak for itself. So let me show you the stuff that you need. Look how nicely I have this all presented. The salmon, we got this from Costco, I want to say. We divided it up and we froze it in freezer bags, so now I'm defrosting it to cook for this. So that I need to wash and sort out. We also will have peppers. I just chuck in how much I want, like, because of the amount of salmon I have, I'm going to use 1.5 peppers. This half, actually, I'm using it just because it was there in the fridge and it needs to be used. I'm putting in as many carrots as I want because I quite like the carrots in this dish, and so does Joel. And we typically will fight over how many carrots we put on each other's plate. So I'm just going to go as hard as I can with the carrots. I want to make it a little bit spicy today. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So I'm going to put 2 chilies in. These are bird's eye chilies, and they're the 3 chili heat. You'll need thyme. I always use fresh thyme, or as fresh as it can be from the packet, but if you don't want to, then you can just use the thyme that comes in a little jar bottle thing. And then rice. You also need stock. I use fish stock or I use vegetable stock, and then you'll have your seasoning as well. So for this recipe, I will use salmon. I don't know how much is in here. It's like, I think I've got 5 or 6 pieces of salmon in here with the skin on. I've washed and chopped everything else that goes in. I've got the thyme, the chilies, carrots, and then underneath I have peppers. And the rice, I'll just wash that and get that ready to boil. In terms of the herbs that I use, I pretty much will just use what I feel like using. I'll always use fish seasoning and fish stock or vegetable stock, depends on which one I have. But I'll sometimes use black pepper, I'll sometimes use all-purpose seasoning, I'll sometimes use a bit of soy sauce, the Maggi liquid seasoning. It kind of just depends. I'll just basically today probably use a little bit of black pepper and fish seasoning and a tiny bit of all-purpose, and that's going to be it. So I'm going to boil the kettle now for the stock. I apologise in advance for not being able to tell you guys how much of each ingredient I'm using. I literally don't ever use the same amount twice. I'm just using the fish stock pot. Don't know how much they cost. They're probably like £1 or something for a couple. And I'll just put it in my measuring jug, and I'm just gonna add the hot water to it and mix it up. I'm gonna get that in. As it starts to boil, I'm gonna add everything apart from the thyme. So I'm taking the thyme out of my pot, and everything else, all the veg can go in. And I literally am going to let this sit. I'm going to cover it and let it just boil down a little bit so that some of it starts to soften before I add my salmon. Okay, so my salmon has been washed. I'm going to season it now. Only God knows the amounts that I put in. I'm not even going to try and lie and say this is a tablespoon, but I'm just going to sprinkle it with all-purpose seasoning, a little bit of black pepper. I've got chilies in it already, so I don't want to put too much black pepper. I'm going to go with my fish seasoning. Let's get a teaspoon. I'm going to do a heaped teaspoon of fish seasoning. And I wasn't going to, but I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce. My usual Maggi liquid seasoning, couldn't find it, it's out of stock, so I'm just using the reduced salt soy sauce. I keep all of my seasonings out because as I'm cooking the fish, I'll taste it eventually when the fish is a bit more cooked, and if I'm like tastes bland or it needs a bit more of something, then I'll add it. I don't leave it overnight. You can do if you want to, but I just season it on the day and put it in the pot, and it's always come out fine. But if you wanted to, you could marinate it and leave it overnight or for a couple of hours or however long you like. And it smells so good. Ugh. I literally feel like I could eat it as it is. It smells so good. This is something that I can cook while the baby's sleeping. Like, she's napping now, little half an hour nap. I'm like, let me get dinner sorted. So the hardest thing to do with this dish is to cut up the carrots, cut up the peppers, and decide like what seasoning you want to use. But the salmon is gonna go in now because it's all boiling. Oh, if you can smell it, it smells so good. Let me bring you closer. Okay, I'm gonna add the salmon. Let me get the little grabby tool. Oh, it's over here. Look. I'm very organized right now for the camera. Well, this is me being very organized, but I am quite a disorganized cook. So I'm gonna put the salmon in. I just fit it in the best way that I can. When the salmon is cooked, I peel the skin off mine. I don't like the slimy skin. I really don't. But Joel likes it, so he eats the skin. I peel mine off. If you try it, let me know what you do. Because I don't like things to go to waste, and I'm a bit of a super scrimper, I sometimes, if I need to add a bit more liquid, so if this liquid cooks down and I want to add some more, I keep this aside so that I can add hot water to this, give it a little mix, and then I'm adding some liquid, but it's liquid with a bit of something. So I literally will let this cook down. I'm going to add the thyme now. Thyme is my favourite herb. I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed. I'm pretty sure that the next time you see this pot, there'll be more thyme added. Like, I absolutely love it. And sometimes when I want to go really hard, I'll add this fresh thyme, and I'll also add some sprinkles of the dry thyme. I'm gonna cover and then let it do this thing. So I've had it cooking for about 10 minutes or so. I did add some more thyme. Ooh. I could not help myself. I'm gonna lower it down now and let it cook on a really low heat. This probably lasts us just a day. 1 piece for me, 2 pieces for Joel later, 1 piece for my dinner, and then there's just gonna be an extra piece for him to eat, and then that's the day done. And this is lunch. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you give this a go, or some sort of variant of it with whatever you want to add. I'm going to eat this and then I'm going to get back to work. I cooked this in my lunch break while the child was sleeping. That just goes to show how easy this is. But I'll see you in my next video, and I hope that you all stay safe. Take care, bye.